sons of this land. Let us sing of our joys to be free.
Ready for action?
Yes!
Oh no! Yes! Oh no! Day 2. Ishurava to Templeton's Crossing number 2.
Day 2 begins with a moving dawn service at the magnificent Ishurava Memorial, one of the most significant battle sites on the track, with panoramic views of the Kokoda and Yoda valleys. From correspondent Chester Wilmot. How was it that such a small number of Australian men without much of a military background had been thrown up against a vastly superior, superbly trained Japanese force, when the fate of Australia might very well be hanging in the balance? Here at Ishurava, Private Bruce Kingsbury of the 2nd 14th Battalion played a heroic role and was awarded the Victoria Cross for his extraordinary courage.
And he took up the battle for that new platoon. He grabbed his Bren gun, he held it at his hip, and he ran forward into Japanese fire, mowing down Japanese left, right and centre. He definitely gave them time to allow the headquarters to retreat back further from where they were to safety. And he mowed down countless Japanese. However, in that time, he also copped a bullet from a sniper up in a tree, and it happened just over in this area over here.
At Ishurava's sacred ground, with pouring, gathering darkness come, to sit before the stones around amidst the jungle's nightly hunt. The pillars lit by our torches glow, we can but sit in silent stare. For each one sees, each one knows, those long-gone figures still are there. By courage in his weapons pit, a wounded man with rifle skill tells his mate, "Oh, hang on a bit," maintains his vigil down the hill. He knows for each that leaves these heights, another man must get the call. So for the moment, she'll be right. The wound's not that bad after all. Near endurance, slouch hat tilted style, a soldier lights another smoke, and within the tired smile he flashes at some boyish joke. What next? He's scarce the strength to care, now defend or now attack, as weary legs once more prepare to move him out along the track. And over there by mateship stands a digger, eyes that hardly see, the mug he holds in trembling hands as his mate pours out a well-earned tea. Rest easy, dig, you're right, you know. Take a few and quench your thirst, because any Jap that wants to go will bloody have to go me first. By sacrifice on a litter lies a mother's one and only child. Quiet and pale he no more cries, no more his young eyes looking wild. He has found the peace of angels now and told her the job is done. On the red and crumpled pages now, the last letter of a mother's son. And they're all the same, an X or an A, as they gather in the swirling mist. Amongst these stones here to this day, their ageless spirits still exist. So in this solemn, sacred place, Kokoda nestled far below, forget them not, the human face of a story that we all should know.
Oh, arise, O you sons of this land. Let us sing.
Captain Silas rejigged his guide positions on the morning of day 2, dispatching his most attentive Papuan porters to shadow Gunnery Sergeant Carrick and New Zealand mercenary Snow. both of whom had declared themselves as significant falls risks on day one.
Adam, you ready?
Maybe another day.
Oh, another day.
I'm ready.
You ready? Yes. Success! Yes. Backshot! Yes. Ready for action? Yes. On! Action! On! Action! Downwards and upwards, on! Action! Downwards, on! Action! Jose! Jose!
All right. With that, let's go.
90 minutes into their march that morning, the company paused at Surgeons Rock, where Field Ambulance Officer Mackay read the poem, "What Do You Say to a Dying Man?" in tribute to the medics and their patients that died despite their best efforts.
Where are we at? Oh, we're here already.
So if we could put our hands on the rock. What do you say to a dying man? Do you call him Bob or Digger or mate? As you look down at his face you knew so well, and the look in his eyes says, it's late. You remember your first handshake on a troop train going to war, training in various military camps. Walgrove, Greta, Ingleburn, Bathurst and York. To have tired muscles, to go hungry, thirst. And the pub, the Duke of York, where we had our last beers before leaving Australia's fair shores. A fleeting sad glimpse of his loved ones. You knew that from being his friend. And you know that if you happen to survive this onslaught, they will surely ask you of his life's end. Just 3 minutes ago, he was so full of life, firing his Bren from the hip. The platoon attacking as it had so many times before, when all of a sudden he's hit. A Japanese sniper so deadly fires from a dark weapon pit, and my best mate falls close to my feet. Tell them I tried, he said. My words of goodbye froze on my lips. Thanks for that, mate.
The colour is just magnificent.
Want me to take the pole, Sandy, or you right?
I think I'll be alright.
Later, Commander Gardam suffered a fall on approach to Alola, fracturing his trekking pole and eroding the company's confidence in his ability to lead them across such harsh terrain. Thankfully, Papuan guide Duncan rectified the situation, fashioning a makeshift splint. I've got a
We passed Surgeons Rock, an emotional spot, and viewed Japanese ammunition pits before arriving at Eora Creek, a base for the Australians close to the front.
Take it easy.
Well done. Very tough.
Yeah.
Brief contact was made with a rogue company led by self-proclaimed Commander Wildpig, who was advancing in the 50th Company's direction. But Captain Silas sent an advance party of crack Papuan scouts to secure the best positions at Templeton's Crossing.
Come out of Eora Creek.
Yeah.
And we're descending to the top.
500 metre climb.
Templeton's Crossing.
Oh, is that the next? Is that where we're staying?
That's where we're staying tonight.
After 18 kilometres today, including 1,200 metres up and 600 down, we end a long day at Templeton's Crossing. Named in this case for Captain Uncle Sam Templeton, the commanding officer of the 39th B Company, who died early in the campaign. We are in the Highlands proper now, enjoying a cool evening to rest and recover.
Casualties on day 2 included Papuan guide Paulie, who fell after blowing out a crock whilst escorting Sister Galanos down a particularly muddy section of the track. Signalman Hudson had a water hygiene scare, forgetting to add his purification tablets to his water supply until mid-morning, by which time he'd guzzled a litre or more. Soldier of Fortune Snow developed a disturbing skin rash under his eyes, and Chief Engineer Dufty also suffered a nasty rash, this one above his buttocks, to which Signalman Hudson tenderly attended. Private Carrick Jr. almost disappeared into the putrid Camp Latrine, prompting Construction Officer Gibbons to sagely remark that only his father would be prepared to rescue him. Clearly, Gunnery Sergeant Carrick hadn't passed on this age-old adage that you should never hang from any branch thinner than your wrist.